Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to The Should Life. This is your host, Jessica Lee Labe, and today we're talking about why you don't need to hire a coach. Let's get into it. I'm so excited about the next few episodes that are dropping because essentially I get to do one of my favorite things with you, and that is vent. Come on this venting journey with me. Let's do it. It's healthy, right? So, for the next few episodes, I'm going to be talking about the worst advice that I encounter when it comes to the should life. And we're going to be talking about what I believe to be true instead, based on my experience communicating with other inner voices and my personal experience. So, the title of this episode is Why You Don't Need to Hire a Coach. And you may be wondering why in the hell I would actually make this if I myself am a mentor or a coach. Excellent question. Let me set the record straight here. It may seem counterintuitive to put out an entire episode on why you actually don't need to hire me. And let me just say that I would love to work with you. I truly believe in the work that I do, in the results that I get with my clients. And my clients are the fucking most amazing women you will ever meet. They are like genuine, amazing women, women that I just love hanging out with, let alone like mentoring them. I believe in what I do, and I believe in the power of mentoring, and I believe in aligned coaching. And you also don't need to hire a mentor in order to get the results that you want. So let's think about this. Let's get into this a bit. I want to ask, why are you given this advice in the first place, right? Like, let's sink into this a bit before we move forward into all the good stuff. Why are we given this advice in the first place, and where do you think this comes from? So I believe that this advice exists because the people who are spreading this message are people who have experienced the power of hiring a mentor or a coach, right? They themselves have firsthand experienced the power of working one-on-one or maybe in an intimate group container with a mentor or a coach. And when you work with an aligned mentor, keep in mind, we need to be working with people who are actually in alignment with the results that we want, with the ways in which we communicate and we hear messages. This is so, so, so important. Our life truly can change, and it can change very rapidly. So I believe that's kind of like the origin, is that people have experienced this magic for themselves. And when you've experienced something that powerful, you're going to be like screaming it from the rooftops. You're going to want everyone to get in on this. And if a coach is trying to convince you to pay them, they have to show you why you should do that, right? Why should you pay me? So the goal there is to make you believe that without them, you're not going to succeed. You're not going to get the results that you want if you do not work with them. This is like a very out of alignment marketing sales strategy, but this is where we get this horrible advice that your results will not be possible without their magic sauce, right? So if you see a coach or a mentor utilizing, or a healer utilizing some type of language like this all or nothing language, like if you don't do my process, or if you don't learn my process, you'll never reach enlightenment. Or if you don't follow these exact steps, you're not going to get what it is that you desire. So, first of all, like fucking major red flags, right? If you see a coach or a mentor who's advertising their services, talking about how amazing their processes are, and they're saying that you're never going to get what you want unless you hire them, run, girl. What's going on? If you're interested in one-on-one mentorship with me, or your own live inner voice session to activate your intuition and get you living your soul aligned life, head over to nomoreshouldlife.com and let's get started. So, this type of advice can lead to burnout in clients, and they can really start to blame themselves when they're made these promises about their results that they will be getting and they don't get them. This ends up causing more trauma for clients who have experiences with coaches or mentors who are out of alignment. So this is what happened with one of my clients. Her name was Courtney. She came to me after working with another coach. She came to this coach with these big questions, right? And she was really looking for some beautiful guidance. And instead of being able to dive deep with Courtney and to hold space for her to do this exploration, this aligned exploration on her own, unfortunately, this coach had essentially just prescribed these very like run of the mill concrete action items. And so this looked like prescribing her like a morning routine, so she was like meditating for 10 minutes a day, working out every day, journaling and doing like some affirmation work every day. So, first of all, none of those things are bad in and of themselves, but when we're not able to go deep and hold space for our clients, if you're in this type of container and you're feeling like there has to be something more, like you're just getting this, okay, here's another thing to put on your to-do list, do this thing and you will be healed. There's something that's off there. You know what I mean? And your inner voice knows when something is in alignment or out of alignment. And to Courtney, she really felt like this was off. She really felt like the messaging she was given before she hired this coach and then what she was asked to be doing were two completely different things. She really was ready to go deep and to be challenged and to really start making some amazing changes and transformations in her life. And unfortunately, this just wasn't the container to allow her to do that. And when we look at these separate things, meditating and journaling, they're great. They can be so powerful and life changing. They're amazing healing modalities when they are suggested within the context of greater healing that's happening. And then these things can be done on top of that to go deeper, to explore more deeply, to regulate the nervous system. This isn't just do more things and you will be healed. Because seriously, when we live the should life, if doing more things healed us, we'd all be fucking healed, right? Hello. And also, I mean, I just have to say this, but anyone could give this type of advice. There's nothing special about this. There's nothing nuanced or like amazing about the advice of start a morning routine. Okay. Like, we have to be better than this for real. So, Courtney was super frustrated that this wasn't quote unquote like fixing her in the way that it had been promised to do. And in fact, I mean, she had tried to practice meditation and do journaling exercises before even going to that previous coach, and it didn't work for her. And she was already feeling bummed about that. So then here she is, she shows up to this new coach thinking, this is it. This person has the answers to unlock what it is that is keeping me stuck. And she gets the same freaking advice. So we went into it together. Like, I love, first of all, there is so much to be admired in a person who has this type of experience and still wants to show up and do the fucking work, right? Like, she showed up with me. We went into it. We processed what had come from that experience, what lessons she had learned about herself as a result, because, you know, her situation sucked. It really did. It was a major, major disappointment. And when something doesn't work out, it can be just as valuable and just as powerful than when something does work out for us. So we kind of explored that. Of course, we also did inner voice work. And through tuning into her inner voice, she was able to very clearly differentiate, decipher what alignment felt like, looked like, tasted like for her. This is a very, very unique individual feeling, vibration, energy. She was able to tap into that through the guidance of her inner voice. And because when you know what alignment is for you, those people, those messages, those situations that don't vibe with you become very obvious. You know right away what is in alignment and what is out of alignment. Then, once she established her inner voice work, once she established what it felt like to be in alignment and what it felt like to be out of alignment, we could then really dive into what it was that she desired and that she hadn't been able to explore up until that point. And it's so amazing because, like I mentioned, she had dipped her toe into several different practices that spoke to her. Practices like meditation and journaling and affirmations. And she had received these kind of like little nuggets, these little tastes of just how powerful that work was. She got into some manifestation. She manifested a couple of amazing things in her life. But what happened was she kept feeling like she would get sucked back into quote unquote the real world, right? She felt like she had this like spiritual world that she was exploring, that she was really wanting to dive more deeply into. And then she had like her quote unquote real world. And she felt like these worlds were separate from one another. She really wanted to learn, how can I merge these two together? How can I bring in this amazing work that I've been discovering for myself? I see the benefits that it brings to my life, my relationships, the way that I talk to myself, how I just feel on a day-to-day basis, right? Like when she would show up for work, if she meditated in the morning, she felt more balanced. She felt more clear. She was able to handle stress better. Okay, so that's a little nugget. We want to keep that. But it was like, well, but then things would just happen and like 2 months would go by and I hadn't meditated and then we're feeling burnt out, right? I mean, we've all been there. So we dive into that, and the funny thing was that she essentially ended up falling into a morning practice. This is just how it worked out through the guidance of her inner voice and through understanding what alignment felt like for her. This is what ended up lighting her up. It became her favorite part of her day. She would get up and instead of doing like 5 prescribed things, she would tune into her inner voice every day and feel and hear what it was that her inner voice wanted to explore that morning. This was before any electronics were turned on, before the outside world started to invade her inner world. She was able to take this time for herself. And it was only because she had understood and really started to embody inner voice and alignment work. So, how ironic that she came to me completely burnt out with this very like strict by the book, very masculine, energetic morning routine. And then through our work together, it ends up that really this very flowy morning practice. I don't really call it a morning routine. That doesn't feel aligned for me. This morning practice was what lit her soul on fire. This is the power of inner voice work and alignment. And this is the power of working with a mentor or a coach who is in alignment with your truth. I want you to know that ultimately you have everything within you to heal, that you don't need someone else's process in order to have the life that you desire, that you are not a problem to be fixed. And I'm not here to fix you. That is certainly not my philosophy. If it was, I would be way out of integrity with what it is that I'm doing. A coach, a mentor, a therapist are not here to fix you because you are not a problem in the first place. You are whole, you are enough, you are loved as you are. I am here to show you the power that you have always possessed and will always possess, to bring light to the parts of yourself that you have hidden so that you yourself can heal. I have tools, powerful tools that I believe in, absolutely. But ultimately, my clients do this work for themselves. So, yes, you can absolutely heal without working with a mentor. I will say that it will most likely take a longer period of time for your transformation to happen. And you may make more quote unquote mistakes along the way. And the reason that I say that is because that's pretty much how I did it. I learned, I took pieces from other people. I failed. I took more pieces. I learned different healing modalities. I made mistakes. I failed. I tried again. I manifested. I failed. I've hired coaches that I had to fire because it just was not, it was not. Just that's all I'm going to say about that. Right? The reason that I work with mentors is to quantum leap. And what I mean by that is when you're in the presence and you're learning from someone who's been there and who's done that, you don't have to make all the mistakes that they made along the way. Because here is this person, they've done all the things. They've done everything that all the healing and transformation work that you desire, and they've made all the mistakes along the way. And maybe let's say it took them 10 years to get to where they are when you hire them. They've got all those lessons, those juicy lessons. Then you're hiring them. So then you don't have to take 10 years to get to where you want to be. Maybe you'll take 1 year. Maybe you'll take 6 months. Maybe you'll take 8 years. Guess what? It's not 10, right? This is why self leadership and embodiment of our message as coaches and mentors is so important, because I pave the way for my clients to get to where they want to be faster because I did it the hard way, right? My clients, yes, you will still have lots of lessons to learn along the way. This is part of the journey. I'm not saying that because you hire a coach or a mentor that you're not going to make mistakes, that you're not going to have issues, that the stories of the mind and the fear of the mind and past traumas aren't going to show up. But you're going to have all of those lessons along the way from that person who is guiding you, that is there right next to you every step of the way. You've been learning the lessons, and the lessons are never going to stop. When you have someone who has been exactly where you are now, they can help you take those leaps, those quantum leaps, to get to where it is that you desire much, much faster. And that is what I desire for you. That is what you deserve, right? So ultimately, you have everything you need to find your healing. Although doing it alone can make the process maybe feel more difficult than it needs to be. Healing alone will also take more time and energy than it would if you decide to pursue a mentor or a coach. These mentors who have been there, who talk and walk their messaging or embody their messaging, they'll get you to where you desire in a much faster way. They can quantum leap your healing journey. They can bring to light things that may have taken you years to identify yourself. Maybe you're not aware of at all. Coaches and mentors, they are also amazing because they have many of them. I'm not going to say they all do, but they have so many modalities that they can utilize, like so many tools in their toolbox. This isn't just talking. This isn't just sitting down and my mind talking to your mind. This is utilizing all of the toolbox, right? So I've got like, it depends on what has spoken to that coach or mentor. But oftentimes, like myself, I'm certified in EFT tapping, yoga, emotional energy releasing, Reiki, Thai yoga massage, right? And then I have coaching certifications as well. So that is such an amazing gift where, in addition to talking things out and identifying root causes of actions, we can pull in so many other healing modalities during our time together to get you out of the head and into the body. Oh my gosh, another amazing episode in the books. We talked about why you don't need to hire a coach and how that bad advice originated and what can come out of it. How we can end up being more burnt out than when we started from this bad advice, and how it can lead to a cycle of self blame. We talked about how you are not a problem to be fixed and that you have everything you need to find the healing that you desire, and how it can benefit you if it is aligned for you to find a mentor and a coach. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. This is your reminder that you are enough, you are worthy, and you are loved. You can find me over at Instagram at Jessica Lee Labe and my website at nomoreshouldlife.com. If you or someone you love is a high achieving woman looking to activate your inner voice and embrace your shadow self to claim your soul aligned life, send me a DM and let's do this.